Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, we are looking at one of my favorite animals, ever, the lemur. I have loved lemurs for a long time, and I would want to do a video on each one of them, but since there are over 100 different types of lemur, I'm squashing them all up into this one video. As I said, there are over 100 types of lemur, ranging from pretty little lemurs, like the Madame Berth's mouse lemur, which is the smallest, at 3.5 to full inches when it's fully grown. The tail adds another 5 inches onto that, but it still only weighs an ounce. Then there's the Indri. They grow up to 24 to 35 inches long, and they're the only lemur that doesn't have a long tail. When I was younger, I was toyed with the idea of having a pet lemur. It seemed like such a good idea, but it would have been the opposite of that. Lemurs aren't domesticated animals like cats or dogs. They will always want to live in the wild. They can get diseases from humans that they couldn't get natively, because the only place they live is Madagascar. So if they go other places, they can get introduced to some pretty bad diseases. Sadly, because lemurs only live on Madagascar, 25% are vulnerable, 23% are endangered, and a further 16% are listed as critically endangered. Their main cause for this is habitat destruction. Lemurs need space. For fights, whether over mates, territory, food, or the best sunbathing place, lemurs will spray their tails with a stinky secretion and wave them at each other. The one with the stinkiest tail will win dominance and get whatever they're fighting over. Since there are so many types of lemurs, it would be impossible for me to do them all justice on this video, but I'm just going to go over a few of the more well-known ones and some of the less well-known ones. To start, the ring-tailed. Ring-tailed lemurs are probably the most well-known type of lemur, both because of their distinctive looks, and there is also King Julian from the Madagascar movies. These lemurs live in groups of 5 to 30, and they spend more than 1/3 of their time on the ground, more than any other animal. They have long tails that are longer than their body, and they live up to around 15 to 20 years. Ring-tailed lemurs sunbathe. They will sit in a position like they're meditating to soak up all their sun on their bellies. They will also, when it gets too cold, squeeze up and crunch together in what's called a lemur ball, which is amazing. Next up, we have a very interesting lemur, probably the next well-known, known as the red-ruffed. Red-ruffed lemurs are unfortunately critically endangered due to 85% of Madagascar's forests being destroyed. Another sad fact is that up to 60% of red-ruffed lemur babies do not survive because they fall from the high nests in which they are raised. Red-ruffed lemurs live in the canopy, much higher off the ground than the ring-tailed, and I should probably stop this clip. Red-ruffed lemurs are known for being very loud, and they also enjoy fruit. Figs seem to be their favorite, and they will fight over them. They are one of the larger species of primate, bigger than the ring-tailed, but smaller than the Indri. They also have 6 bottom teeth that act as a comb. They can brush their fur with them, and also peel the skin off fruit so they can eat. Next up, we go to a lemur that I mentioned briefly before, but it's the biggest type of lemur ever, known as the Indri. Indris really aren't that well known compared to some of the other lemurs, but they live in family groups of 2 to 6 lemurs. They have tails from only 2 to 5 inches, and I have a conspiracy theory that other lemur that's always hanging around King Julian, I think that's an Indri, but more on that later. Or not. That's probably a bad idea. Indris are diurnal, and they have an excellent sense of smell, which they use to detect urine markings. They mate for life, and there is a pregnancy period of around 4 to 5 months before a baby lemur is born. Baby Indris spend the first few months of their life holding on to their mother's bellies as they go. After that, they will ride on their mother's backs before they become independent and go out on their own, or with their family. Indris also have fur color that varies depending on their environment. It can be brown or black, or have red and white patches too. Unfortunately, that's all I have time for. I might make a part 2 on more lemurs. Let me know in the comments. But also, some of my viewers will understand this. If you are studying for step 1, good job. Keep going. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you hit the bell notification after subscribing, it will let you know when I make a new video. Have one on the way. Or I might. Let me know.